Welcome to your daily portion. King David showed us the peace that comes from meditating on God's word day and night. So, as we prepare for rest, let's settle in and briefly consider our meditation under the caption, The Foundation of Resilience, Building on God's Promises. The gentle hum of the fan was the only sound as Samuel sat on the edge of his bed, the world outside already dark and quiet. It was Sunday night, and the week ahead felt uncertain. A stack of bills on the kitchen table, a difficult conversation waiting at work, and questions about the future that seemed to multiply in the shadows. He clasped his hands together, feeling the familiar ache of anxiety, and wondered how he would face another week of challenges. Samuel thought about the storms he'd weathered in the past. There were seasons when life felt manageable, when each day unfolded as expected. But there were also times when everything seemed to unravel at once. When health failed, relationships were strained, or dreams slipped through his fingers. In those moments, Samuel realized, something had kept him standing. He wondered what it was that made some people crumble under pressure while others grew stronger. He remembered a story Jesus told, one that had always fascinated him. In the Gospel of Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 through 25, Jesus said, "Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house. And it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock." Samuel pictured the scene. Two houses, both standing tall in fair weather, both facing the same storm. But when the winds howled and the waters rose, only one house remained, the one built on rock. The difference wasn't in the storm, but in the foundation. He realized that resilience, the ability to stand strong through life's challenges, wasn't about avoiding hardship, but about what his life was built upon. If his hope rested on circumstances, success, or his own strength, he would be shaken every time the winds changed. But if his foundation was God's promises, he could endure whatever came. Samuel reached for his Bible, searching for the promises that had anchored him before. He read words that had carried him through sleepless nights and anxious days. "Fear thou not, for I am with thee." Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. "My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness." 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Psalm chapter 23, verse 1. He remembered the first time he truly understood what it meant to build on God's word. Years ago, after losing his job, Samuel had felt lost and afraid. He'd spent hours searching for answers, trying to fix things on his own. But one night, exhausted and out of options, he'd opened his Bible and found comfort in the story of Joseph. Betrayed, forgotten, yet never abandoned by God. Joseph's story didn't change Samuel's circumstances overnight, but it gave him hope. He realized God was with him in the waiting, working behind the scenes, shaping his character and preparing a future he couldn't yet see. Now facing a new set of challenges, Samuel knew he needed to return to that foundation. He decided to spend a few minutes each night reading God's promises aloud, letting them settle deep into his heart. He wrote them on sticky notes and placed them where he would see them, in the bathroom, on the fridge, next to his bed. Each promise was a stone, strengthening the foundation beneath his feet. Samuel also began to pray differently. Instead of asking God to remove every hardship, he asked for wisdom and strength to stand firm. He prayed for the courage to do what was right, even when it was hard, and for the faith to trust God's timing. He found that as he focused on God's faithfulness, his anxieties grew quieter. The storms didn't disappear, but he felt less alone. He thought of others in his life who were struggling, his neighbor facing a medical diagnosis, a friend grieving the loss of a loved one, a co-worker overwhelmed by family pressures. Samuel reached out, sharing the words that had encouraged him. Sometimes a simple message or a listening ear was enough to remind someone else that they too could stand strong. As the week unfolded, Samuel faced the same challenges: bills to pay, difficult conversations, uncertain news. But something had shifted. When fear rose up, he returned to the promises he'd written down. When disappointment threatened to overwhelm him, he remembered the wise man who built his house on the rock. He realized that resilience was not a one-time achievement, but a daily choice to trust God's word over his own worries. On Saturday night, as Samuel reflected on the week, he felt a quiet sense of gratitude. He was still standing, not because the storms had passed, but because his foundation had held. He whispered a prayer of thanks, asking God to help him build his life each day on the rock of his promises. If you find yourself facing storms tonight, wondering how you'll make it through another week, remember the words of Jesus. The wise build their house on the rock. God's promises are sure, His love is unchanging, and His presence is your shelter in every storm. You do not have to stand alone. Let His word be your foundation, and you will find the strength to endure, to grow, and to hope, no matter what comes. Rest now, trusting that the God who holds the storm also holds you. May His promises be the rock beneath your feet, and may you sleep in peace, ready to face tomorrow with resilient faith. Thank you for listening tonight. My name is Clyde, and it has been my pleasure to read this meditation based on God's holy word to you. Good night, and God bless you from your Daily Portion Ministries with David Harris.